Last year, I sat down to watch Cruella, a reimagining of the character from 101 Dalmatians, and I absolutely loved it. It's weird to say, but it's the best 7 out of 10 I have ever seen. For the sake of brevity, I won't be going over the entire film. I will instead be going over the parts I really liked about it in a semi-particular order. Starting with the fashion. Good God, the costume department had 6 families to feed in this movie. They go so hard. All of Cruella's looks radiate pure power, and I love to see that in an outfit. It's why I can draw a suit in no seconds flat. I also love how pale she ends up looking after doing a triple pirouette off the handle and into the deep end. She looks crazy as hell. Actually, all the outfits in this movie radiate personality. The Baroness's outfit in her first appearance basically screams rich bitch, and that's exactly what she acts like the rest of the movie. The rest of her outfits are basically telling you, yes, look at me, I know I'm great, better than you will ever be. The dickhead who calls Cruella inbred is dressed so pretentiously, I'm pretty sure the whole suit included a stick, which he jammed straight up his ass. They knew what they were doing. This is like the clothing version of color theory. Every outfit has a vibe. For example, Cruella's work clothes make her look like she's trying just a bit too hard to be a fashion designer, which, yeah, she kinda is. I mean, she's really excited to be here, and is constantly trying to impress her way to the top out of a belief that she's some kind of fashion genius.
I believe that lurking underneath that starchy, half-sized too small bum plinter of a suit lies a kind man who wants to give a brilliant kid another shot.
Her Cruella clothes are a different story, though. I've already said that they radiate power, but you need to look at these things. All of them say, do something. You know you can't. And that's furthered by the way she just shows up and leaves without saying a word. Like, her mere existence is the world's biggest headache for the Baroness. Which it is.
We need to sue her.
God, this would be an awesome segue into discussing her character. However, I have more to say on some other people, specifically the Baroness. The Baroness is more than a bit narcissistic. She's even called one in the movie, which sort of stigmatizes that whole thing even more, but I'm not about to write a thesis on the demonization of personality disorders, so I'll be nice and assume ignorance. However, like with most narcissistic people, the Baroness is an absolute fucking child. Spend 5 minutes in a room with someone as obsessed with themselves as this woman, and you'll come out with forehead wrinkles that would make a pack of lunch meat blush.
We need to sue her. For defamation, false imprisonment, vandalism, something. I need you to stop talking, Roger.
You do?
So I have a gap to fire you. There's a gap. You're fired. I've done it again.
In sync.
Go. Here's to me. Who the hell else would I drink to?
Thank you.
Gratitude's for losers.
I hate people who have made it past 40 who are still acting like children, so seeing her get completely fucked for half the movie was a treat.
That little...
See. Now there's still a person. It's a trick. She's really cruel. You wait. I'll get even.
Got a good beat. The music.
She gets upstaged like 4 times, if that, gets mocked in a newspaper, has her dog stolen, and then resorts to murder and arson. All of these things are so monumentally insulting to her that she's literally willing to kill this girl and then blame it on her brothers.
You're going to kill me because I upstaged you?
Uh-huh.
The Baroness is a good villain, and she's a good villain because anytime she's on screen you're thinking, I love how evil this woman is. I hope someone hits her in the head with a brick. And then when she's either losing control or huffy, you're just like, and seeing her entire world crumble down around her while she's being arrested is the cherry on top. Anyway, now for the supporting cast. Horace and Jasper are basically the only ones worth talking about. The family dynamic with Cruella is really cute. I love their relationship. It's clear that they love each other very much, and that love gets tested when Cruella's mind starts doing flips. And I really like how even after she breaks them out of jail and explains all of her current issues to them, they're still ready to just up and leave and let her deal with her problems herself until she apologizes.
I went a bit mad. I'm sorry. You're my family. All I have.
This isn't the best family reconciliation story in the world, but I love how the reason they come back isn't just because family. Seeing this kind of accountability is great. I hear they plan to make a Cruella 2, so I'd love to see a sort of recovery arc where the family dynamic gets better again. Horace and Jasper are good brothers. They get a B+ in Blathering, so says I. Now for the woman whose face is on the cover. Cruella de Vil. Cruella is a really interesting character. She was born not taking shit from anyone. On her first day of school, she beats the asses of 2 boys who were needlessly cruel to her, and continues landing in the principal's office for girl bossing just that hard. God forbid women have fun. She reminds me a little bit of myself in school. I was a relatively good kid, but in elementary specifically, I would typically get punished for doing something either extremely inoffensive, or something no one ever told me there was a rule against. I also had some abusive parents, so I grew to both revile and respect certain people in authority, just like Cruella ends up doing. You can see this when Cruella's brothers eventually hook her up with a job cleaning floors for the worst man to ever exist. And after a certain point, she just says fuck it and gets shit-faced to a song that pretty much describes the entire movie. When it comes out that the Baroness stole her mom's locket, she's like,
"Now you have officially carried it too far, buddy."
And makes the entrance to end all entrances. And despite being anxious as all hell when her plan falls apart, she still chews the conversation as much as she possibly can. The Baroness does as well. It's like watching a tennis match, but every hit is denoted by the way they look and smile and speak. Good God, it's great.
You look vaguely familiar.
I look stunning. I don't know about familiar, darling.
Your hair, is it real?
Like my ball. I like to make an impact.
Actually, something I want to touch on is the broken psychology of our main character. Being a child fucked over by school and losing the only positive relationship she ever had was bound to fuck her up in some way. On some level, she thinks very childishly, especially with how she creates a narrative of Estella and Cruella being 2 separate people, and really hamming up her bad side, when in reality she's really not all that evil. Her definition of evil is really just girl bossing a little bit, as well as being as catty as a sophomore in high school.
You could be more polite, is all.
I don't have time. I have to go to work. I'm a designer now.
She's a douche to her family, and like I said previously, no amount of context or backstory for your bad behavior will ever justify it, but I'm glad she ends up apologizing and following through with that by not being as much of a cunt to them anymore. She's not all the way cool yet, and she probably needs some good and comfortable therapy to set her head straight, but I'm very much hoping for her to recover. Another cool thing about her is her thirst for vengeance at all costs. It's tragic in that she damages her relationship with her family to get it done, but also vindicating because she eventually puts that bitch in her place. And she didn't even have to kill anyone. It's also hilarious to watch the Baroness just seething at the fact that she somehow got an entire gala to dress up like her, as if to say, you can't get rid of me no matter how hard you try. And the cherry on top is how she stages her own murder in order to get her arrested. Like, can you imagine the paperwork she'd be drowning in once they find out that she faked her own death? She went to such great lengths to fuck this bitch over hard in front of everyone. She did exactly what she set out to do and stole this woman's business, confidence, and status. And for that, she is worthy of a badge of platinum. You know, Cruella is kind of like having your cake and eating it too in regards to villains. She looks great, talks great, girl bosses everywhere, and ends up locking the Baroness in prison and inheriting all of her ill-gotten gains, because vengeance is a dish best served hot and thrown in your face. But she's not too evil. She's just mean enough to where it can be forgiven with a good "I'm sorry," and the bombastic showmanship sticks so you can still fawn over her. I'm excited to see where the second movie goes, and I hope it's as good as the first. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me yap about Cruella, and I really hope that you go see it. Till next time!